please join me in welcoming Doc Waller to the TEDxAtlanta stage.
Let's go fly a kite. Yeah. If you're not doing anything for, say, the rest of your natural life, I'd like to invite you to a place. It's up from here, so no yellow brick roads or MARTA station rides to get there, I promise. And I promise the getting there will remove any doubt you may have about your inalienable right to fly throughout the clear blue sky. How? Don't ask. Why? Ask why. I'm not David Blaine trying to sneak a plane behind you. I'm just speaking plainly, mind you, about us and where we should be going, where and how we should be growing, and that knowing gravity is not all it's cracked up to be is the only ticket you're going to need on this flight. This is your captain speaking with a little flight information for you. Looks like the weather's going to be cooperating with us today. Coming up on our left, we're going to be catching a glimpse of what looks like a long list of popular cliches. Oh, look, a case of the Mondays. And if you look just to the right of that, we'll have better luck next time. We'll be cruising at an altitude of about one giant leap for mankind, so please make sure your tendency to throw in the towel in the face of challenges is buckled in nice and safe for the flight. Right. That's the spirit, Daddy-o. And Daddy, no matter the flaws you may have, you've always come through for us. You see, he's our own Boeing 717, and I'm going, knowing, going gone never leaves me with a hand to play. Give me a hand. No, give me your hand today, and I'll be Peter Pan today, and you can be a child again, because back then, you were so full of gusto. And fear, it didn't look like a 401k. It was something in the corner of your mind. It's still far away. And once upon that time, you could hopscotch it out of existence. You feel that? That resistance? We don't even remember what being a child is like. A child is right all the time, like a customer, getting what it came for and having no shame for claiming door number one, the one that represents what we were actually made to be, what we naturally crave to see. Not that hindsight sort of vision, not that limelight sort of mission. I'm talking about you, a mirror, and a conversation like, hey, self, I'd like to introduce you to me, you, us. We get it, but do we get it yet? Huh? No? Well, check this. Tomorrow is actually a person. And she has expectations of us. And letting her down is more low down than someone who can't get down or someone who's never even learned how to jump, even to their own conclusions. The heavy-footed individuals with cemented boots, which, of course, were not made for walking, but rather made for learning how to become a totem pole. Or anything else that doesn't move. Like a writer's block, or the person we keep comparing ourselves to, or the girl we won't admit we're in love with. I'm in love with you, Allison. Or the father who's really proud of you but doesn't know how to say it, or the community that really doesn't know each other, or the obstacles that really aren't obstacles, but since we've been taught to keep the color within the lines, they might as well be obstacles. Nice. You see, where I want you to go is a place, either today or whenever, is a place where there are no obstacles. A place here where excuses start to pucker up on the way up and end up too swollen to even become words by the time they reach your lips in the first place. This place, elevated. Without the need of elevators, where the mind's eye and the physical trajectory are actually related. I get elated just thinking about your human possibility when there's no gravity around. You see, there are those who moonwalk and those who trot, those who blossom and those who won't finish the rhyme scheme because they believe there's enough power in that to change the world. And if it doesn't, who cares? At least it'll shake things up a bit, take things up a bit. Remember, that's not an order, it's just an invitation. I'm just here reminding you that you're standing on the runway. And it's a one-way. And if you haven't already, then maybe one day you should ask yourself, what am I not capable of? I bet the silence confuses you. And then I bet doubt will start abusing you. And then you'll be the dope roping yourself into a conniption, taking jab after melancholic jab to the face. Lips and ability to reap the rewards of life getting bloodier and bloodier every second. And then 1,000 little short-term ambitions start to leave your soul, yelling out, "Taxi!" for someone to find them a new home. No matter the address, as long as there's a nice backyard and a few good moments, and there's the rub, a few good moments. That's what life and getting anti-gravity is all about. A few good moments, and how we prime ourselves for them. And that even those superhuman, super strength moments may not have the superhuman strength to pick you up off the ground if you're standing there mixing the quicksand yourselves. That's a recipe for disaster. What we should be is mixing ourselves. 1 part past failure, 1 part use of fear, 1 part blind confidence, and 1 part of your life where you question everything, including the ground and the last time you left it, and how heavy-hearted you just might be if you've never known the absence of gravity. This is not a test. It's just an invitation for you to try the air up here. It'll be fun. Bring a kite. Stay forever if you like. Thank you. I need a drink. Looks a little different than this, though. Okay, so now for a little less poetic illustration of what getting anti-gravity means to me and why I decided to adopt it as my principle of life. In New York, 2005, there is a kid who gave me a call. He was a part of a theatrical production at the City Lights Youth Theater. The name of the production was Anne Frank and Me. This kid and I had kind of built a rapport during the rehearsal period. I was the stage manager at the time. He also knew that I was a working actor in the city, and he wanted to know if I would help him with his lines. He was kind of having a little trouble with the delivery and remembering, and so I asked the director if it was okay. And we met at the theater space, which was a little bit above 42nd Street on 8th Avenue, and I remember sitting with the kid and grabbing each other's arms like trapeze artists, and developing a rhythm on how he can deliver his lines. The night ended on a high. His confidence was rejuvenated, and so was mine about my role, about my position in the city. So the night ended, and I'm on my normal, crowded, well-lit walk home through the theater district, and I'm getting this natural, powerful New York City type of vibe pumping through my lungs. That same night, on that same walk home, I had a panic attack. A change of heart in the purest sense of the phrase. No longer was it this passionate New York City type of vibe going through my lungs. It was this weird, obtruse, suction type of feeling that was just kind of taking over my body, and it was horrifying, but it was at the same time reassuring. Wait, I'm not supposed to be here? I don't belong here. This is just a teaser. This is just a prelude. I don't get it. Now go back with me. About a year and a half before that, United States Air Force, a young 21-year-old senior airman sitting at a table at a bowling alley across from 3 senior non-commissioned officers. It was the week of our national conference, and I had the opportunity to organize it. The day before, my supervisor, Master Sergeant Rodriguez, said, Airman Waller, I got a call, and some NCOs from Nellis Air Force Base have something they want to talk to you about personally. You need to meet them at the bowling alley for lunch. And I said, well, do you know anything about the details? He said, you should probably speak to them about that, Airman Waller. So there I am, sitting across the table from these 3 senior NCOs, and little did I know that I was about to have one of those life paradigm shifts, right? So they start telling me that they have an opportunity that's waiting for me. What they did not have the authority to tell me was, 1, where specifically this opportunity was. 2, who specifically I would be working for. And 3, any details specifically about what I would actually be doing. Right? What they could tell me, what they could reveal was, 1, I would still be able to continue to go to school online. And 2, if I stayed within this opportunity for about 10 years or so, which is actually now, I could be working for the president. My question was, can a brother get a day to think about this? I went home and I thought about it, and the next day I'm in the office, in the commander's office, and everybody's looking at me with this, is that a booger on his face type of look, and Master Sergeant Rodriguez called me in the office and he said, what is your decision? At that moment, I literally felt my body coming off of the ground. And although I wasn't there mentally in the moment, I felt myself regurgitate the words, I can't. That's not my plan. I'm going to New York. Now, I present this juxtaposition of outcomes to show that no matter whether we like it or not, life is going to ebb and flow ridiculously, continuously. And it's our job, it's up to us to decide on how we're going to ride that wave, how we're going to come out on the other end. Now, you know those video clips or the parts in the movie where there's an earthquake or an aftershock, and there are a lot of people in the middle of the chaos when on the way home from Starbucks, and they're falling over and they're tripping over themselves trying to keep their balance. In those moments, I think about how different that chaos would be if they were just 2 feet off of the ground. If a little bit of anti-gravity, just a little bit, how that would change the perspective of that chaos. Now, if we look at chaos in a grander scheme, we understand that chaos comes in many different forms rather than something as grand as an earthquake. We have chaos in the family, we've got chaos at school, chaos in the community, chaos in our own mind, in our heart, in our passion, and that chaos is going to try to shake us. It's going to do whatever it can to throw us off of our feet. And it's going to get so good. It's going to get so good that it's going to start using these moments of grandeur, whether it's a new relationship or a job opportunity or the greatest city in the world or a black ops military operation, to throw us off the natural path that is made for us. But if we use a little anti-gravity, if we decide to float, we maintain our balance. We keep our bearings. And it's there in that VIP section of the sky that we are allowed to be ourselves. Not remnants of ourselves, not alternative versions of ourselves, not the self that'll get us over in the moment, and not the self that feeds into somebody else's impression of us. And honestly, if you get off the ground just a little bit, you're able to look over those obstacles that are standing in your way, to look at your further progressive self down the road and cheer that person on and pull from that inspiration. But anti-gravity, it's not about a finish line type of aesthetic. There's not a committee waiting at the end to hand you an anti-gravity badge and pin it on your chest. Anti-gravity is about knowing that the best version of ourselves are always running away from us, and it's too fast to catch. It's about falling in love with the process of getting better at getting better. Now, taking all of this into account, you got to understand that anti-gravity is not free. Mine's not. I'm 31 years old, and anti-gravity has forced me to sacrifice a lot in my life. Anti-gravity forces me to tear up when my nieces and nephews walk out of my room, because I'm not sure when the real world is going to come around to rewarding me for what my anti-gravity allows me to produce. You know, have some stability, raise a family, build a picket fence. It's forced me to draw lines in between my friends because of who they think I'm supposed to be, because they've known me for 1,000 years. Anti-gravity has forced me to take Willy Wonka type golden ticket opportunities and just hand them back for the sake of not going off of the path of what I believe is my path for that moment. And anti-gravity has forced me to know a great, great deal of pain. This is why I left New York. This is the former office of my former nonprofit organization called the Lehman Group that I decided to build when I went down south. I felt like when I was in New York, that spirit that I was having, that grandiose type of magnanimous excitement, I wanted to bring that back to Alabama. I knew that there are a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to experience that. This is what I'm floating away from right now. I chose this picture because it symbolizes the day we moved in and the fact that it's no longer here. We had to put this organization on Exodus earlier this year for a number of different reasons. We did a lot of great work. But it's okay because I've been in my anti-gravity so long that I know it's only going to take a little while for me to float away from this. We didn't have enough money to get anybody to do this, but I literally had to take a hammer and a flathead screwdriver and chip and pull the carpet off of all 2,000 square feet of this. It took me about 2 days to do it. When I got home, my fingers would start spasming after about an hour after I was done. And during the time period, about 6 years of this nonprofit organization, I literally thought about giving it up 24 times, but I never did. I never did because I was floating over the chaos. I mean, I could see it, I could hear it, but I was never overwhelmed in it. And even the day that I decided to give all of this up, it wasn't gravity pulling me back down. It was the fact that my anti-gravity got strong enough to allow me to float to the next chapter of my life. I was sitting at my computer at home working on whatever I was working on, and I decided to stop, and I looked out of the window, I took a deep breath, I turned back, and I got out of my chair. And by the time I was up on my feet, I was in full tears. It was the one cry that I wanted to cry for 6 years straight. It was the best, wonderful, refreshing cry I had ever cried. Because at that moment, I didn't care about the outcome of moving on because it wasn't my choice. It was my anti-gravity allowing me just to float into that next chapter. What is that next chapter? Me sitting here at TEDxAtlanta, being able to talk to people, being able to get back to what I know is me, being able to write, being able to meet in a room with thousands of people who share like minds, being able to produce creative work, being able to go home at night and realize, you know what, you did right, Doc. You were on the correct path. And that's all that matters, the correct path. That was my correct path then. This is my correct path now. And if you can figure out what your correct path is, you understand getting anti-gravity. My name is Doc Waller, and I'm a performing artist. I'm a writer. I'm a creative director. I'm a romantic. I'm a dreamer. I choose. I decide. I take action. Just like everybody else. I just happen to choose to do it up here. And it works for me. And I believe that it will work for you too. Thanks.